Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the Hijab Row is back in focus in the state of Karnataka, and here's why. The State Education Department had announced this year's Teachers' Day Awards for Best Teachers, Best Principals and Best Lecturers. Amongst the 41 winners is also B.G. Ramakrishna, the principal of the Government Pre-University College in Udupi, which was the epicentre of the 2022 Hijab Row. The college had barred entry into the college premises as far as the students who were wearing hijab were concerned. And back in February 2022, he was even seen shutting the gate on students who came to the college wearing the hijab. But after the awards were announced, there was a U-turn, and the state government decided to put the honour on hold for B.G. Ramakrishna. The state's primary and secondary education minister, Madhavdas G, confirmed that the state has put the honour on hold, saying the issue is with the way in which Ramakrishna treated students during the Hijab Row. The BJP hit back at the state government, saying the decision to put the award on hold is demoralizing for the teachers' community.
We had to put it on hold for now. Later we'll take a decision. The way he treated the children, that is the issue, that's all. If nothing is done, no problem with it, then we'll take a call. Don't politicize this issue. Either way, if something has any government order also, if he is following, has to be ordered in a certain manner. It's nothing, no vindictive. Please don't put any political this thing, and I don't want to do that. And it's not me who finalizes. There is a committee for that, and they take a usual good decision.
It is really demoralizing for the teacher community. At the behest of the pressure from pro-hijab, anti-national elements, this government has succumbed to these anti-national forces.
When the Karnataka government announced the Best Principal Award for B.G. Ramakrishna, the SDPI had raised an objection, accusing the principal of being communal and harbouring hate for Muslims. With the BJP alleging that the Congress government gave in to the pro-hijab forces, State Minister Sudhakar hit back, accusing it of trying to divide society using the hijab issue.
When I was studying, my fellow classmates were wearing hijab. Absolutely, we never had any issue. See, BJP of late, they're trying to create a serious divide in the society. See, each one has got their own choice, their own culture, religion is there. See, what way it is going to affect? See, in a school, everybody has to sit together. See, I personally feel the person who the issue was who triggered the whole issue. I think he has probably some other motive and some other intention.
The decision to honour B.G. Krishna was based on the work that he had done. Reports say that as principal of Government Pre-University College in Kundapur, he made key contributions to the development of the PU College. He introduced online coaching for CET, NET and JEE exams. He established a library with 20,000 books for students from villages in and around the area. The BJP says the Karnataka government is humiliating the entire teaching community by targeting this principal because of vote bank compulsions.
The main reason for withdrawing the award to Ramakrishna BG is because during the hijab issue, when the government, that time the BJP government was there was an order from the government that the hijab can't be worn inside the classrooms. That time when students came into the college wearing hijab, obviously as per the government order that time, the principal, the head of the institution has stopped the students from entering the college because that was a government order. And he has gone ahead with the rules of the present, that day, whatever the rule was there.
Times has accessed exclusive inside information on the entire award controversy and the hijab connection. First, the district level committee cleared Ramakrishna's name after finding his work and credentials worthy of an award. His name was then forwarded to the main committee, which received the recommendations from across the state. Main committee finalized the names of two principals, one from Udupi and one from Mysuru. Both were called to Bengaluru and briefed about the award ceremony, but soon posts started coming in on social media questioning the honour to Ramakrishna. It's learned that multiple calls from groups as well as Congress leaders, in fact, were made to the Education Minister, his office and Chief Minister's office. And finally, towards the evening, Ramakrishna was verbally told not to attend the award ceremony because of certain issues that had come up. The awardee would not just be eligible for a cash reward for himself, but the institution he was with would also be given 50,000 cash award, which can be used for the improvement of the school or the college concerned. Let's go across to Deepak, who's joining us with this breaking information. It's not just an insult, but clearly, of course, a huge humiliation, because after he's brought in from Kundapura to Bengaluru, it's only after that he was told that he would not be able to get this award. Take us through what really has taken place, Deepak.
Absolutely, Madhav, and it is humiliation to say the least, because you have various criteria that he meets. He goes through that rigorous selection process. There are people from each and every district, multiple principals who apply. First, a district level committee approves of what the work that he's done. Now, when we talk about the work that he's done, that would mean enrolling female students into the institution, improving the academic culture in the institution, ensuring women students do not leave, and if they leave, trying to bring them back. And all of this in the last 5 years is taken into account before selecting him. And he was selected, and then among all the 32 districts, they finally decide that he, along with another principal from Hunsuru, this is Mysuru district, will be given the award. They attend a meeting where they're given the protocol training, because the chief minister and the education minister are going to be part of the felicitation program that was held today. And this meeting takes place yesterday, afternoon. And after all of this, while he is asked to come to Bengaluru and everything is done, then these messages start coming up on social media, calls start reaching, the education minister, his office,
right,
the chief minister's office, and then they decide that, well, we cannot give him the award. And shockingly enough, it was just a DDPU officer from Udupi who calls him and says, well, you shouldn't be attending this award ceremony tomorrow.
Absolutely. So the absolute humiliation for this particular principal who went through the rigorous process. Deepak, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to continue tracking this very important story as well. Let's now take this across to our guests.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us now at the moment, Shahzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, is with us. Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst, is also with us. Saif Khan is leader of the Congress party. Tausif Ahmed Khan is a lawyer and political analyst. Let me start first and foremost with you, Tehseen. What's the logic? Because clearly what's being cited here by the BJP is some kind of communication from the SDPI, which is voicing its concern about the involvement of this principal in quote-unquote communal activities during BJP regime. Is that reason enough to deny the award to this principal? Tehseen.
So I'm very grateful that the BJP spokesperson is here. You ask him, is the SDPI a banned organization? Hypothetically, if they have communicated, are they not citizens of India? I mean,
so you're saying it's because of SDPI that you took the action?
I'm not saying because of SDPI. I'm saying even if they did, it's hypothetical. You're posing a hypothetical question. I'm asking you not a hypothetical answer. Is SDPI banned? They are an organization. The Home Ministry refused to ban them. That's one. Number two, the fact is, look, the way students are treated. That's what Bangarappaji, the education minister, said. The way girls are treated. What is important? The right to education under Article 21 is the mother of all fundamental rights. Nobody asks for anyone to wear a burqa or to cover their face. But if somebody is covering their head with a scarf or a dupatta or a hijab, whatever you call it, or a handkerchief, how can you tell them that they can't wear that in the class, and you deny girls their right to education, which is a fundamental right under Article 21, a fundamental right? This idea of taking away education from girls, particularly vulnerable girls from the minority communities, is the cornerstone of BJP's politics. And therefore, if the government is looking and reviewing it, I don't see why there should be such a why the BJP or any of the allies should be so should take objection to it.
All right. Why is the BJP objecting to it? Shahzad, please respond to Tehseen.
It's ironic that on a day like Teachers' Day, the Congress party chooses to humiliate all teachers. Actually, if there would have been no teachers, there would be no fundamental right to education, because they are the fundamental right givers of that education. But having said that, what was the fault of this particular principal? He only implemented a rule or a government order, which, by the way, the Karnataka High Court held as valid. The Supreme Court, in a split verdict, has not been able to come up with a decision, has referred it to a larger bench. But by and large, it is still in law. It is still not state. So it is a valid law or a valid rule that he implemented. So now Congress party is saying that we are going to put, ironically, appeasement over merit. And Tehseen said SDPI is not went absolutely right. But SDPI does not subscribe to Samvidhan. It says it wants Sharia. Secondly, he's right. SDPI is actually the master or the teacher of Congress party, because Congress is now converting into a neo-Muslim League party. Look at what they've been doing in Karnataka itself. SDPI says that remove the lamppost with bow and arrow, with mace, because it's communal. Ji Janab. Then obviously that order is stayed because of media pressure. SDPI says that we don't like the name Ramnagar. Ji Janab. SDPI says that the cooker blast is not a terror attack. Immediately the Congress party leaders start whitewashing it. SDPI says that remove our cases. 175 cases of PFI are withdrawn. So the Congress party has now started becoming a neo-Muslim league inside Karnataka, and it has capitulated from Shah Banu to Shaira Banu to this kind of capitulation in front of hardliners and fundamentalists. And last question to Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla said this is about young girls getting education. I want to quote, Kerala government 2022 cannot allow hijab in student police cadet. That is secular. Aditya Thackeray 2022, he was a minister. The only dress code in school will be the one that is the uniform. No religious things will be allowed. That time the Kitab is more important, not hijab. But now suddenly hijab is very important, and without hijab there can't be Kitab. Tehseen Poonawalla, I want to ask you one personal question. When did our mom ever wear hijab even 20 years ago when she took education? Did our mother's parents ever stop her? And you are coming and advocating this on television?
Tehseen.
Look, if just because we come from a family which is very privileged, or the grandparents are privileged, that is not a personal debate. If there are young girls who require education, and the right to that or the way to that education is not that they wear a burqa or cover their face, but they cover their hair via dupatta, via scarf, via a handkerchief, via hijab. Why should education be denied? I am asking you, is the right to education more important, or the fact that they can't wear a scarf over their head? Who's asking them not to wear the uniform? That's not a debate. And therefore, the BJP will deliberately polarize this and make this about young Muslim women and young Muslim men, only to polarize because elections are coming up in Haryana, elections are coming up in Maharashtra, and they want to polarize. They have no other agenda. So the BJP is doing this only to polarize.
The action is being taken by the state government. There was a due process followed. Once again, Tehseen, there was a due process followed. I'm not even getting into the SDP argument. Of course, the fact is that on a number of things, as Shehzad has said, the state government has followed what the SDP has said. You believe that, all right, they're a political party, they want to articulate, it doesn't matter. Fine. But the point is this, that there was a due process followed. It went to the district committee. It was then sent to a state level committee. All the processes are followed. This person qualifies all the criteria. The criteria on which he's selected are the fact that he's built up a library, he's worked for the education of the students over there. On merit, just because a person has done something that does not suit a particular ideology, are you going to cancel that person and not look at the merit of him as a teacher or a principal?
No, I think we should. Therefore, the education minister saying it's being reviewed. He's never said they are not giving the award. But let me ask a hypothetical question.
It was not given today, sir, on Teachers' Day. That's a fact.
Question is, it's under review. The award ceremony is under review. Now, the award is under review.
After bringing him all the way from Kundapura to Bangalore, he's held back. He will have to go back. God knows if he will get the award or not. So that's obviously a humiliation.
And the girls are not humiliated who are not allowed to come inside class to get education. So if there are complaints raised about somebody, let's say tomorrow, hypothetically, somebody does something that is not clearly in accordance with human rights, just because the person's built a library, we should overlook a mistake. We should overlook the objections that have been made. I mean, I find this argument bizarre. Should young Muslim girls, young Sikh girls, young SC girls, young OBC girls get education? Yes or no? That's the criteria. Okay. If for that education they have to cover their hair, I'm again not saying burqa. Why should the BJP have a problem? Because the BJP wants to do Hindu-Muslim. Okay.
There is a criticism of the manner in which the principal handled the situation, particularly as far as the young students are concerned. And that is why this has taken place, and therefore it's a fair criticism. Please respond to that comment being made here. Shehzad.
Very quickly, first of all, if the problem was in the handling of his entire approach, then why did you allow him to go through this entire process where he was selected, he was invited and then humiliated? Point number one. That means it was done last minute under pressure and not for any cogent reason. Point number two, when Tehseen talks about Muslim girls, do you know Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Egypt banned hijabs and niqabs in schools. Here the hijab was only banned or not allowed inside the classroom, not in the school. Madhav, let's be very clear. Nobody is preventing a Muslim girl or a Muslim woman to wear her choice of hijab inside even the campus or wherever she wants. If she wants to go to a Times Now debate or she wants to go to a movie, she can wear it. That's her choice. But if these people are pro-choice, and I know that the next speaker will be maybe one of the other persons, Sajid, etc., please ask them that should a girl who wants to go to a madrasa and she says, I don't want to wear the hijab, I want to wear a skirt and go, will you allow it in the name of choice?
Let me bring in other panelists.
Call out these hypocrites.
Okay,
please
let me bring
ask the Congress spokesperson Saif Khan.
Yeah,
ask Saif Khan, will he allow this choice in madrasa?
Okay, Saif Khan, question directed at you.
Okay, firstly, I would like to, make certain points, and I would, put down quote unquote of what Supreme Court recently has given a verdict on August 9, 2024. There was a college in Mumbai who imposed a ban on hijab. There, it was put, the Supreme Court has put, the case on hold. Why? Because even in the case, the Supreme Court did ask the lawyer that if they would like to impose a ban on bindi and tilak as well. So I would like to ask Shehzad Poonawala here, who's making such statements in terms of the college or maybe the schools. Would they support this, or would they because as an Indian National Congress we would never impose a ban on tilak or on the bindi. Why specifically just because Shehzad Poonawala belongs to Bharatiya Janata Party, has earlier imposed a ban in Karnataka, and then further got a response in 2023 from the people of Karnataka, removing the government, and that is why this thing is happening. And for now, let me tell you, I certainly believe that this principle or the award should be stayed permanently. I would favor to that. I will also. As we also got a suggestion from SDPI that there should be there is a strong objection and it should be put on hold. The award should be put on hold.
So SDPI is now going to decide all the policies of the state government. Are you saying that, Mr. Saif Khan?
Not someone who actually makes...
One second. Mr. Saif Khan, this once again, see, because you're feeding into this narrative that the BJP will exploit. One second. Listen to my question, Saif Khan, please.
Let me complete that.
No, Saif Khan, please answer my question, because what you just said... Please listen to me 1 minute. Mr. Khan, please listen to me. You can have your say, Mr. Khan. Please listen to me. Be a little patient. Listen to my question. I'm asking you a simple question. Saif Khan, it's that there is, of course, the case of what has happened in the Anjanadri Hills. Lampposts were there outside a temple where they said, and in fact, supposedly the birthplace, or believed to be the birthplace of Lord Hanuman, where certain Hindu symbols were there at lampposts. They said this is against communal harmony. There are cases in the previous Congress government where cases against the SDPI were quashed. So there is a pattern here, is what the BJP is saying. By once again succumbing to pressure coming in from SDPI, which we know takes a hard line. Such an organization, fine, they're a political party, fine, they are allowed to voice their opinion, but the point is that will allow for more criticism from the BJP coming into the Congress party. Is it not the case, Mr. Khan?
See, let me tell you. If we talk about Bhagwan Hanumanji, the CM of Uttar Pradesh says that the Bhagwan Hanumanji belongs to a certain community and caste. I mean, does it hurt the sentiment of Hindus? Or the Shehzad Poonawala sitting here? Rato-rat,
You're not answering my question,
temple
sir.
was destroyed by Bharatiya Janata Party Municipal Corporation. No, I'm telling you, let's come to the point here. What is the solution? I certainly
we are discussing Karnataka government. Please raise questions of Yogi Adityanath. I have no problem about the UP government. But I've asked you a pointed question of pressure coming in from SDPI. You're not addressing that question.
See, this is not a pressure coming up. This is a suggestion given by SDPI, and we certainly believe that it should be considered. No award should be given to the principal who actually makes...
What's the problem with the SDPI? Dr. Ranganathan, what's the problem with the SDPI? They're a political organization, they're a legitimate organization. In the past, we've had panelists saying, if their actions are so objectionable, take action against them. Please respond to Mr. Saif Khan, who's saying that it's their advice or their suggestion which has been accepted.
Good evening, Madhav, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, yesterday the Islamists demanded lampposts with Hindu symbols be uprooted. Today they demand a prestigious award be withheld from a teacher who all he wanted was to follow the rules. Welcome to the Islamic Republic of Karnataka. Madhav, the very same secular state where a panel recently recommended a ban on wearing tilak in school, that very same secular state proudly proclaimed that wearing hijab in school was not banned. Needless to say, we follow a wonderful definition of secularism. Secularism is banning tilak and kalawa, but allowing hijab and turban. Secularism is when Hindus have to beg for land in their own country to celebrate their festival for a day, while governments have usurped hundreds of thousands of acres of Hindu temple land. Secularism is when there is no deity except Allah and no one has the right to be worshipped but Him 4062 amplified through a loudspeaker 5 times a day is creating enmity. But peacefully chanting Hanuman Chalisa while not denigrating anybody else's religion is creating enmity. Secularism is controlling and taxing only temples and temple land but not mosques or churches. Secularism is implementing a right to education where only Hindu-run schools are obligated to keep 25% fees reserved for economically weaker sections. Secularism is prohibiting Hindus to even approach the courts to reclaim their demolished temples. Secularism is respecting the Supreme Court Sabrimala judgment but overturning the Supreme Court Shahbano judgment. For how long will we pretend that we are not practicing secularism but rather appeasement? As I keep saying, Madhav, we are a banana republic from the day we became a republic. How can you call yourself secular and at the same time fight for religious dress codes to be allowed in schools? You can wear whatever you want outside of school, but in school you have to wear a prescribed uniform. Tell me, Madhav, does Olympics allow a woman to swim in burqa? Besides, how can you call yourself objective when you outrage on Karnataka but are totally silent on Kerala where the government has banned wearing of hijab over SPC uniform? The Kerala High Court has dismissed Muslim plea to wear hijab to school and Kerala Muslim Education Society controlling 150 schools has banned niqab. Where are all these leftist vogues and Islamists when it comes to Kerala? I ask a simple question. What if tomorrow, if some religion or its god orders women to be shackled in ball and chain at all times, would you demand that the school allow the girls to be rattled along and drag themselves in?
Yeah, and let me bring in Saif Khan back on this because Saif Khan, this is what the Karnataka High Court then said. And, you know, we've seen what Education Minister Madhu Bangarappai said. He says that the way he treated children is an issue. Is it an issue if the High Court has upheld his actions in a way? Because all he is doing is implementing the code as far as the uniform and attire is concerned.
Madhav, let me bring down the verdict of what Supreme Court took action against this. Right, there was a split verdict. One, the statement was made by Justice Adholia that there shall be no restriction on wearing a hijab anywhere in the school or colleges. Are we contradicting those statements which were made by the Supreme Court?
So it's a split verdict. There are two different versions.
And there was also Hemant Gupta. So that absolutely. There was again a split verdict, and there was a verdict made by Hemant Gupta ji, which actually supported. But then there was a recent verdict in August 9, 2024 by the Supreme Court itself, putting a hold, on a college and the notification where the college wanted hijab to be banned. And again, the Supreme Court did ask, should we also, are you also banning the tilak and the bindis here?
Okay, since the topic has come up again, let me put that question. Okay, it's a different case. It's a different case, as you have rightly said, but I want Shehzad to answer that. Shehzad, this point is coming up again and again, so therefore, will there be, action on bindi and tilak also is a question posed by the bench, and therefore it's a valid concern, although it is another case. Please answer that point.
Now, let me tell you the distinction between this case and the Karnataka case. This particular case, the institution had banned the wearing of hijab in the entire campus, not in the classroom. Whereas the Karnataka case pertains to the banning or the not wearing of hijab inside the classroom. Obviously, Mr. Saif Khan is unable to understand the distinction between two cases. And therefore, in this particular case, where the Karnataka High Court order stands, he will not say a word, but will jump to another case. But having said that, let me ask Saif Khan another question. Saif ji, don't interrupt. Sir, in the interest of a good debate.
One moment. Saif, you'll get a chance to rebut. Tausif is being very patient. He's not even spoken yet. Please, let's be a little patient. It's a sensitive issue. Let's not have a shouting match. Please, my request to all of you. Complete your point, Shehzad.
Saif, I have just 3 small questions, and we don't interrupt each other. That's how these debates are done. I'll just have 3 small one line issues to raise with you. You said that SDPI gave a suggestion, and therefore that suggestion was said Ji Janab, and it was accepted. The VHP has a suggestion that the lampposts of Ram and Ban should be utilized. Are you going to take the VHP suggestion on board? Point number 1. Point number 2, the SDPI has another suggestion that this country should run by Sharia. Are you going to run this country by Sharia? And point number 3, my original question to you, if this is about choice of women, although you are imposing the choice on women, you will not wear what is Sharia compliant for your own self. If this is about choice, should women in madrasas be allowed to wear the dress of their choice?
Saif Khan.
Firstly, Shehzad, would you like to firstly answer this?
He's obviously not Saif Ali
Does
Khan.
Bharatiya Janata Party and
My mistake.
you want to impose a ban on the tilak and the bindi of the students, those who are attending the classes? What is your answer firstly? Then I'll answer yours. Please go ahead. Is that yes or no? Let's make it very clear. Shehzad, is that yes?
Yeah, Shehzad, go ahead.
Bharatiya Janata Party's end or no?
First of all,
I would like to
that
get
question. One second. The fundamental question is that is tilak or the other parts you're saying, is it in obstruction or above the dress code of the uniform?
Answer that, Saif.
No, what is your stand? I would like to know. What is your stand? I mean, does Bharatiya Janata Party would
One
like
is
to,
completely
impose
against
a
the
ban
uniform or
on
dress
bindi
code.
and
The
tilak
other has nothing
school or not?
nothing in contradiction with the dress code.
So what you're saying is that Bharatiya
By
Janata
that
Party
logic, okay.
is
Since
would
you're
like to
taking
impose a
it down
ban
to-
on tilak and bindi, is what you're telling me here.
Now look.
On a channel,
Now look,
is what
you know,
you're telling me
Madhav,
that Bharatiya Janata Party
Madhav,
and his spokesperson
unfortunately-
would like to impose a ban on a bindi and a tilak. I would like
You know,
to
I'll just say-
Madhav, I think if this
Okay.
person is so intellectually challenged to not understand.
Okay.
We would
Tilak-
not like to
one second.
impose a
First of all,
ban
one second.
on
Okay,
a
you know, a
bindi
matter where the
or a
court is,
tilak
let me just say this much, a matter where the court is seized off, I think we've debated this now. Quick response, Shehzad, I'll go across to Tessie, please. Quick response.
Madhav, at least some level of intellect should be there. By the way, tilak or even the turban have been held as essential practices. Turban is an essential practice. You want to take away the turban of a Sikh. But hijab is not held as an essential practice in Islam. If you are a practicing Muslim, tell me where hijab is compulsorily mentioned in the Quran as a dress code. There are 7 mentions of hijab in the Quran. None of them are in the dress code. So therefore, Saif, just because you have a Muslim sounding name doesn't mean that you know the religion of Islam. And therefore you're saying
let's not make personal comments.
Answered,
I want to bring in Tausif Ahmed Khan on this.
You want Sharia in the country?
Shehzad, you made an important point. It's not an essential practice of Islam, says Shehzad Poonawala. Tausif Ahmed Khan, please respond to that point.
You see, Madhav, India is a country where there are linguistic diversity, cultural diversity, religious diversity, and it is a duty of all teachers in India to teach the lessons of diversity and inclusiveness. And it is for this reason that the Supreme Court has said Supreme Court has rejected the order of the government in Mumbai College to impose a ban on the hijab. Now, the position of the Supreme Court, considering the latest stand, is very clear. And why the Supreme Court has taken this stand? Because we cannot forget the incident of Muzaffarnagar, where a class 2 boy was ordered to be beaten up by his classmate, by the teacher by the lady teacher. Because if the teachers start normalizing communal hatred and communal otherization, these incidents are bound to happen.
I don't think that's a fair comparison. Tausif, can I come in, please? Can I come in, please, on one simple point, and you can answer me? The simple point I'm making is
cases happening.
Tausif, just one simple point. The point is that is a very, very shocking and sad incident, condemnable incident. No doubt, what you're saying happened in Muzaffarnagar is totally unacceptable. However, There's a small difference here which people will say, which is that the Karnataka government provisions of 1983 Karnataka Education Act, and the rules that were formulated in February 2022 under that as far as uniforms and attire are concerned, and if that rule book was followed and upheld by the High Court, at least at that point of time, yes, Supreme Court still sees of the matter, there was a split verdict. The point is that at least in this particular case, they are following a particular rule. Can you really equate that with a communal action, as has been seen in the case of Muzaffarnagar? Tawseef.
Just because a bad rule is imposed by the government, it does not become right. You may have a tyrant ruling in a country, and every order of the tyrant cannot be treated as right when we know it is wrong. What does the Constitution of India says? What is the Supreme Court saying? When you impart lessons of communal otherization and communal hatred, when you normalize this, then incidents of Muzaffarnagar is bound to happen everywhere in the country.
No,
and
one second. Sir, until the Supreme Court...
in front of our eyes.
See, if it was such blatant tyranny, Tawseef, the question is, wouldn't the Supreme Court have struck it down already?
I want to give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. No. Supreme Court, there was a split decision. Long ago, the recent stand is Supreme Court put a ban on this order. And secondly, what Shehzad was saying is completely false and untrue. Hijab is an essential practice in Islam, just like turban is in Sikhism. But there are people who do not wear turban. Similarly, there are women in Islam who do not wear hijab. That is their personal choice.
Dr. Ranganathan.
It does not give Shehzad
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to comment on this. Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, first of all, Tawseef is absolutely right. If there is a bad law, especially passed by a tyrant, as we saw in Bengal, where a tyrant passed a law that the medical principal of the medical college was rewarded as principalship of another medical college, that was plainly wrong and set aside by the High Court. So yes, tyrannical rulers can give orders that are set aside. Now, I want to come to this topic. Number one, yes, wearing hijab is an essential practice. There are ayats in Quran that actually say so. So Mr. Sayak is absolutely right. According to me, any public display of a religious symbol should not be allowed in a secular school. That is my position.
This is a very serious issue. The Supreme Court has given a split verdict. Let's wait for the Supreme Court. Of course, this issue continues to be politically very significant as far as Karnataka is concerned as well. And let's leave it there. Shehzad Poonawala, Dr. Ranganathan, Tehseen Poonawala, as well as Saif Ali Khan, Tawseef Ahmed Khan, thanks so much for joining us on debate number 1. Debate number 2 in just a few moments.